Hello and welcome back, and we are looking at the Eversonic 3000, once again the multiband radio, and as you know we've had part 1 and part 2 already uploaded, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I appreciate all the information that's been coming in with regard to this recent venture that I've been tackling. Right now, besides the finishing cosmetics of the radio, i.e. the switch bank here, still got to get some paint on here, just a bit of touch up, and I'm just holding back on that for the moment. The issue that is still outstanding is the kind of the stickiness of the sliders. Now with that in mind, I had some recent comments on the last one, part 2, on the sliders, and just like to make a brief mention of those who had mentioned what I could do. And that would be Spanky's Magic Piano, the Man Cave Workshop, and Cody's. And there may be one other person that I'm missing, and my apologies if I am. But they had all mentioned, and I failed to really recognize the situation. I was more concerned about reducing the friction. But these buttons, as you may see in the comments in part 2, may be pushed a bit too far in. And perhaps if they were to be moved out, they may work slightly better, possibly. I was also told that there is a deoxit slider spray, which is not unlike the deoxit that I have here, but it's specifically made for these sliders that you see on the front of this radio. So, I know these buttons will come off, and I haven't done it before, but I know that you actually have to pull these off. But in my younger years, I'd use a set of pliers, or probably a screwdriver of some sort, and pry it out. But most time, when you do that, you actually cause some damage to the buttons. You actually damage the chrome. These buttons have like a coating of chrome. They're actually plastic, coated in chrome, and so you damage them. So I learned some time ago that if you use a material like this, and I showed this before in recent videos that I've done, when removing volume buttons and stuff like that, and tone buttons or whatever. Basically, it's sort of like a rubber material. These, you can actually buy these at Walmart or the local stores, that the box stores we call them. And they come in rolls or in flat pieces of material, and it's basically anti-skid material. So you put this down, on a surface such as a radio or whatever, so that it doesn't slide around so much. So basically, you take the material and you put this over your button that you want to remove, and you could possibly double it actually, to reduce the chance of scarring the volume button. And so that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it off camera because I don't want to be jittering and causing the radio to fall over and trying to be concerned about the video at the same time. So I'm just going to try that now. I've already got deoxit on all the buttons, and they're free enough, but there's friction. So let's see how this goes. Okay, that was easy enough. Just used one layer and made sure I got in behind the switch on the sides here, and just firmly pulled out, and the switch came out. And I can see now, you see there's gunk here, or maybe sealant, or somebody put something in there. Let's get a close-up if we can. Let's see. There we go. Some sort of gunk. So I'm going to clean this up, and when I reinstalled the button, I'm going to not push it in fully. I'm going to keep it backed off, as was suggested by the gentleman I mentioned earlier. Keep it backed off a millimeter, and let's see how that works. Okay, I've taken off all the buttons, and it appears that maybe in the factory when it was built, they placed some sort of a silicone on the sleeve to possibly hold the button in place. But the buttons, I didn't clean inside the shaft of the buttons, of these here buttons. But I did clean the outside so that there was no more It seemed like a glue of some sort, of black glue, as you've seen in the photo, in the video. I'm thinking it might have been like some kind of a silicone to hold it in place, but the buttons are very secure because I left the black silicone or whatever it is inside the switches, but certainly cleaned up the outside. But sad to say, I'm thinking the issue may be the actual quality of these sliders, because I mean, I can move the volume button, and I've backed it out and I've pushed it in, I've done it all, and it just seems like there's, I don't know if you can get that, if I can just get in a bit closer. Let's just look at the volume button for now. Zoom in, it'd be better, wouldn't it, Andy? Sure thing. Okay. So, the slider, as you see, I'm pushing and it's stiff. Now, could it be the quality of these sliders itself? Maybe they were always like that? I don't think so, because that would, to me, would have been a red flag and a recall, because I mean, people would certainly want to have their volume buttons just at a touch, you know, very smoothly increase or decrease. So I got grease all over everything here. One last thing that I can try, and that's going to take some time, because that would be to use the deoxit slider. Now, it's available at Long McQuaid in St. John's. It's Long McQuaid is a musical store that's right across Canada, and of course they carry that stuff because of guitars for volume and tone buttons and the such, and of course with your mixers you have sliders and things like that. So it would be obvious that they would have some top quality spray like that. And I know they did have the deoxit, but I've never heard of the deoxit slider. So I do have the deoxit, and I knew it was available there, but I wasn't aware of this slider stuff. And it's $41.99 and tax here at Long McQuaid. Now, St. John's is 8 hours drive from my residence, and with this latest goings on with the COVID-19, I won't be in St. John's for quite some time. I'm working from home for the time being. Maybe June or July I may get back to St. John's. In the meantime, it is available in a smaller can, a 2-ounce can I believe it is, on Amazon.ca. Not exactly sure of the price, but it's a very small can. And then there's a 5-ounce can which is available. Sorry, that's not available. It won't ship to Canada or to my address or whatever. So I'm doubtful either can will ship from Amazon. But so I'm going to have to wait, because I don't really want to buy and pay taxes on $41 to $42 and have to pay shipping on that, which would probably be another $10 to $12. So I'm going to hold off on buying the slider, deoxit slider spray. So now we're pretty well at a standstill, other than the paint on the switches in the front there. So, but I want to just thank everybody for chiming in and give me some good tips on getting this radio back in order. And so this may be the final episode, part 3. This will be, and until I get some spray, some of that spray, and see if we can fix this. But now, in the meantime, if you guys would like to chime in again, is it possible that these probably inferior product sliders may have failed over time? They're well lubricated. I will spray them again and lubricate them once again and give it a try. But pushing them in or out doesn't make a difference. So I had the button off actually, and moving the slider in and out, you could still feel like it's just a bit of sloppiness in the shaft. And so it just tells me that it's kind of rocking and causing friction possibly inside. Anyway, rambled on long enough. Part 3. Thanks guys for watching. Keep chiming in with some ideas and information, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave that your comment, as I say, and we'll catch you again.